Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.
Hi, I'm Emily Metheny, your host. This week we have Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Central Indiana in studio to talk about their recruitment campaign that is happening right now. Camile Brugh and Whitney Smith join me in talking about the benefits for both the bigs and the littles in the program, as well as their Giving Tuesday campaign that supports the duos throughout the year. I'm here with Whitney and Camile from Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Can you both tell me a little bit about your positions?
Yeah, thanks for having us. So I oversee our corporate partnerships and marketing efforts, always looking for more volunteers and engaging more donors in our mission.
And I'm Camile Brugh, and I am the Senior Director of Mentoring Relationships and Program Outcomes, so I work closely with our program team.
Excellent. And for someone who's not familiar with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, they just moved into the area, can you give us a little history?
Sure. Big Brothers Big Sisters is a national organization. Nationally, they've been serving kids for over 100 years, and locally, we've been serving kids for 50 years. So we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. But we, believe that every child has the ability to succeed in life, and we want to invest in that potential. So we exist to defend, ignite, and empower these kids through one-to-one mentoring relationships, and they are paired with mentors called Bigs, and then we call our youth Littles, and they spend 4 to 6 hours a month together for a year.
Excellent. And is it only a one-year commitment, or can it be extended?
We hope that these relationships extend beyond 1 year. We serve kids ages 8 to 14, but we want to make sure they stay in the program until they're 18 or graduate from high school.
Excellent. And to become a big, how's that process work?
Sure, we can start enrolling volunteers at the age of 19, and then we have no age maximum. We know that, all adults through all scopes of their life make great volunteers. We do have an enrollment process just to make sure that we are pairing the adult mentor, the big, with the young person that's going to be a great fit for them. So part of that application process does have parts of getting to know them, learning about the areas they'd want to work on in a mentoring relationship, and taking it from there.
Excellent. And if someone's interested in becoming a big, how would they go about that?
Yeah, we encourage them to visit our website. It's www.bebigforkids.org, and we have the entire kind of process on there, or give our agency a call. It's 317-921-2201, and we'll get you hooked up with a staff member that can explain the process from there.
And then, is this specifically for Indianapolis? Is it the surrounding area? Who all do you service?
So we serve over 1,400 kids annually in Marion, Hamilton, and Johnson counties.
Excellent. And then, what's the experience like to be a big with a little or a little with a big? What is that experience like for someone who's interested, but they're not quite ready to take that jump?
Sure.
What is it like?
Yes, absolutely. It can feel a little nerve-wracking in the beginning, but we know both the mentor and the young person have the same level of nerves going in, so it's an even playing field. But we try to take the nerves out of it as much as possible. We have a big app, so we have a mobile app that will allow you to look for activities. Low to no-cost activities are our goal that just enrich that young person and help them become their best selves. You'll also have a professional support person. That's a lot of the team that I get to work with, and they are there to make sure that they're coaching you along the way, answering all the questions that you have, and helping you come up with those great ideas and doing fun opportunities together.
And going back to earlier, we were talking about how many hours a month that commitment is. Can you reiterate how, just the hours real quick?
Sure, it's 4 to 6 hours a month, so that kind of averages out to about 2 times a month.
And with those activities, it can be anything. I've seen someone I know who's a big brother who's been to football games. They've gone out to different events. What's the limit on, is there a limit on what events you can go to as a big and a little?
So we encourage free to low-cost activities. We want to make sure that the bigs are participating in activities that don't cost a lot of money. And honestly, it does range from attending a Colts game to attending a match activity at our agency where we're setting goals for the match. We want to make sure that bigs and littles are focused on building that friendship first and foremost, establishing that trust, and then from there working towards goals that were established.
And then if someone wants to be involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, but they do not have the time right now, how else can they volunteer and contribute to the organization?
Glad you asked that. So there are opportunities to, of course, donate to support more kids getting matched with bigs of their own. It costs about $2,000 to support one match for a year. So we are always looking for more individuals that are willing to support those relationships and the core of our mission of what we do. And then, of course, we'd love for anyone who's interested to attend an event. We have a recruitment campaign going on right now. We've got a series of events. So we want people to attend, come learn about our program. It's a really casual and easy way to get to know Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Excellent. And do you have the dates and the times for some of those events?
Sure. So we have a breakfast coming up on December 10th. That's at the Big Brothers Big Sisters office. Our new building is located at 1433rd North Meridian, and we want anyone who's interested in learning about Big Brothers Big Sisters to attend. That'll be 8 to 9 a.m. We'll have a panel of bigs there to kind of share their own mentoring experiences.
Excellent. And then, because it is November, I have to ask, are you guys doing Giving Tuesday this year?
Glad you asked that as well. Yes, of course we are. So we actually have a huge Giving Tuesday effort. Since about 2014, we've utilized a website to raise about $100,000 on the day. And that is truly through our bigs, our ambassadors, our board, staff donors, just getting out there and spreading the word and asking everyone and anyone to kind of take advantage of the day and support our mission.
Excellent. And going back to kind of the partnership between the bigs and the littles, what can someone expect for that first year? What can they expect?
Sure, they can absolutely expect getting to know somebody, getting to know the family. The young people that come to our program have great families, so it's just somebody else in their life that can just be kind of in their corner. So we would hope that you would expect to get to know the parent or guardian of the young person, partner together, learn about that child through the other people's lives or eyes, and then just go out and have fun. It really is just getting out there and exploring our community together for at least the first 6 months. We want everybody to just build that friendship, and then you start taking on a little bit more of that mentoring piece. Once the kid feels trusted and safe and and willing to share more about themselves, then it just grows from there.
Excellent. When you were talking with bigs about mentoring, what are some of the big things you want to make sure they walk in there with?
Patience is key. Somebody who can just meet the young person where they are, a great listener, being able to build up some self-confidence. We know our program can do some great things in helping kids, in their academic success, feeling more confident in school, growing to build better relationships, both with their friends and with other adults, and then also just making better choices. When young people are faced with two options in life, we hope that we will help them pick the choice that gives them a brighter future. So bigs should come in just knowing they need to be empathetic and patient and grow together.
Excellent. Could you tell me a little bit about the impact, especially on the littles, having a big in those between that 8 and 14 age range?
Oh, absolutely. That's a critical time. Youth are discovering who they are, and they just need somebody else to be able to see the potential in them. We really want to take an approach that looks at the positives that are in the young person's life and motivate from there. We know kids do better when they can realize all of the great things that are currently going on, and then how they can take that to be a better part to somebody else's life. So we know kids do best when you can identify the great things that are going on and then motivate them from there.
Excellent. And then if someone wants to look into being a little, how would they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. The same way. They can go onto our website at bebigforkids.org, or they can call our main line that Whitney gave earlier. And then we walk the parent through that process, or the guardian, just like we do the volunteer. So we have an enrollment process. It'll explain more. And then we go out to the home to get to know the family in their comfort level as well.
Excellent. And then, of course, if you want to be big, you can go online to the website, or you can call as well. Can you give that number one more time?
Sure, it's 317-921-2201.
Perfect. And then what events do you have coming up next year? Like looking ahead to 2020, what's all coming up?
Also glad you asked that. So National Mentoring Month is January. That's a month that we focus on recognizing our mentors and also raising awareness of the impact of mentoring. We don't have any events set for January yet, but wanted to make sure everyone is aware of that. We'll be out and about in the community. We hope to have a big event in late January, where again, we're trying to find more volunteers and more individuals that be interested in getting involved. And then looking ahead to April, we have our annual Bowl for Kids' Sake fundraiser. So that will take place on the south side at Highway Lanes on April 23rd, and on the north side at Woodland Bowl on April 30th. And that we have Biggs, partners, sponsors in the community get together a team of 4 bowlers, come bowl for 2 hours, raise money. We ask that every team raises $500 each, and you're supporting our mission and having fun.
And it's going back to the 2000 that helps that pair, correct?
Absolutely.
If I decide in April I want to become a big,
Yes.
I could sign up in April. If September's better, it's open enrollment throughout the year.
Absolutely. We want you to come in when it's the best time for you to be able to make that minimum of a 1-year commitment. So if holidays seem to be the wild time, we can still take you come January 1 when you're ready for us. We're ready for you.
Perfect.
All day, every day.
And are you active on social media?
We are.
Absolutely.
What's your handle?
So we've got Facebook, which is Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Indiana. Twitter is at Big Bro Big Sis IND. Instagram, Big Bro Big Sis IND. And I think that's it.
Is there anything else you would like to add? Anything at all?
We really appreciate you having us here. It's really important, again, that we get the word out. We've got a lot of kids who are waiting for a big of their own, and we want to make sure that we, match these kids with positive adult role models.
Perfect. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
You can visit BeBigForKids.org to sign up to be a big or find more information about becoming a big and their upcoming events, including Giving Tuesday. Joe Pesh, you know the Joe from the Joe and McKinzie morning show on RadioNOW 100.9? Well, he's a big brother for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Indiana, and he loves it. Hey Joe, can you tell me how long you've been involved with the program?
I have been involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Indiana for, almost 2.5 years. It feels like it just started yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And because you started as soon as you moved in, correct?
Well, no. Some people think that. I guess I've always talked about it because working in radio, we always have different charities and different groups that come in, and that's part of our job, serving the community. So we've got to say, hey, tell us more about Big Brothers Big Sisters. What's this big drive you're doing? And for years, even before I came here to Indy 3 years ago, I was like, that'd be something really good, but I don't know if I'd be a good big brother or not. And then finally, I don't know if I prayed about it or something just came over me. I had a feeling it's like, dude, you got to sign up and be a big brother. Now is the time.
And you did. And what's the experience been like for you?
It has been the greatest experience of my life. I'm mad at myself I didn't do it like 7 years ago when I had an inkling of doing it. It's easy. I think I'm not that cool. My little loves me. His mom, Keela, she just tells me all these great stories, all these memories. Just like if it was your own kid, you don't realize the littlest impact that you can make with a young boy or a young girl, and they just need people in their lives to be a mentor. You don't have to be perfect. Trust me, because I'm far, far from perfect. But it's the littlest things, and I'm almost selfish out of this because I swear I get more out of my mentorship and my connection with my little brother Michael than he does from me. But it's so fun.
Part of the commitment is it's 4 hours a month. What does that feel like? Does it feel like it's 4 hours? Does it seem so short?
No. Maybe at first the 4 hours seem like a lot because anytime, like if you and I hung out for the first time, well, what are we going to talk about? It can be awkward. But once you develop a rapport and connection, because obviously it's like somebody brand new you're meeting, it's really easy. We do at least 4 hours a month, sometimes even double that, because it's not hard to do. We went to a Colts game not too long ago, and that was really fun, even though he was cheering for the Texans. I got to work on that. He's a Texans fan, so I'll have to do my best with that. But we get together, for example, the holiday time, we were making some cookies, and it's like, okay, let's make some cookies for your family, then also for some people you can give out in the neighborhood or where you live at his apartment place. I think it's a really good thing. And yeah, 4 hours is like what's expected. You'll have no problem meeting that. It does not, it's not hard at all. There's so many options when it comes to events. Big Brothers Big Sisters, they help you a lot. They actually have the big app, which is really cool. Trust me, I love when people plan stuff for me. They have a whole list of free events that you can do, or it's very, very low cost, and they just always have new things. They have great partnerships to save you money, but you don't have to spend money to be a big brother or big sister. There's tons of free events. There's a lot of cool things you can do too, just on your own. I try to get my little to learn and grow. All he wants to do is play Fortnite, which probably most boys want to do. But we've been doing different games, like actually playing games together. We've been working on trying to teach him how to cook. Now, to be fair, I have a hard time boiling water, but as I mentioned, we like to bake cookies together. We try just to do different things to grow his skills, to teach him to help maybe like rake leaves for a neighbor of his, which, I'm not putting the kid to work. I'm actually teaching him community, helping out friends, helping out people, volunteering. There's so much that you can do. You don't have to be a millionaire to do this. It's not like a budget item. It's very affordable, and I got to go back to that app again. The big app is the best thing ever.
Probably the biggest thing. It's a 1-year commitment, but obviously you extended it. Was there a second where you're like, maybe, or did you just go for it?
No. Yeah, at first it seems daunting and that is a big thing. I would tell anybody, you need to commit to this. Obviously, life happens. You might have to move or just whatever, but don't just do it like, well, if I don't like after a month, I'll quit. No. I mean, think about that. If somebody was in your life, a man or a woman that you looked up to as a mentor, and then they're gone, that's the whole point, is to have these people there in their lives to be around and make a commitment. But no, a year goes by so quick. Like I said, I'm 2.5 years in, and I feel like we just started like a few weeks ago, and there's so much to do. I see this kid, Michael, growing up in front of me, and I'm actually afraid when the program's over. I mean, obviously you could be friends afterwards, but no, I'll tell you what, a year commitment is nothing. Being a big brother or big sister is going to be one of the greatest things you ever do in your life. The opportunity for 4 hours a month, obviously you can do more, is going to make such a huge impact. It's going to help the kid feel encouraged, feel proud of themselves, just to have somebody to talk to. I mean, not everybody had great parents growing up, and not everybody has that structure in their lives. Luckily for me, like my little Michael's got a great family, but it's so good to have that male influence, that male companion, that guidance. I'm 33 and I still need guidance, So if you have ever thought about it, it's super easy. I will give Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and just also Central Indiana, the whole thing, such a round of applause for the work they do of matching you with the actual child. It is a perfect match, and they make sure it works for both people. So any fears, any hesitations, any questions, they're going to take care of that. It's going to work out, Emily, and I can't say it enough. I really like it. My wife, Lindsay, is actually going to become a big sister. She's thinking about doing that. So yeah, go do it. It's going to make such a big difference.
Sergeant John Perrine is the Public Information Officer for the Indianapolis District of the Indiana State Police. As a PIO, Sergeant Perrine does everything news, media, and public relations related. So he talks to school kids, and he also talks on shows like mine. We had him stop by to talk a little bit about some traveling and winter safety since the holidays are coming up. How does the Indiana State Police work with the IMPD and the Marion County Sheriff's Department, and how does it differ?
Here in Central Indiana, we're real fortunate with a lot of great police departments and a lot of great people, and we all have the common goal, and that's to provide a service and increase the safety in our communities. Where the state police come in is in Central Indiana, we pretty much cover the interstates. We cover anything that happens on the metro interstates, 465, 65, 70, 74, crashes and investigations. Outside of that, we also assist other agencies with whatever they need. If they need manpower, we can provide that. We also have things like helicopters and air support. We have SWAT teams. We have canine teams. So we provide those services to a lot of the local agencies as well. But again, nobody has any different police power or anything like that. We all have the same police powers. It's just a little bit of different responsibilities.
And going into working on the interstates, winter is here.
Yes.
We unfortunately know that now. What are some safety tips and tricks people need to be aware of going into this winter?
Well, the first thing that some people find interesting is that the road conditions, snow on the road, for instance, is never the cause of a crash. So you'll never see a crash report that says snow caused this crash. The crash is caused by somebody's driving behavior. So it's important for people to know that because the road is hazardous, the road is slick, you can't just write that off and say, hey, that's the road's fault that I crashed. No, it's not. It's your fault. And so people need to slow down. That is the key. we get in a hurry, we get in these routines where we want to leave our house at the same time and get to work at the same time. But if there's snow or ice on the road, that just doesn't happen. So you have to leave earlier. Increase that following distance. Not only is that increasing your ability to stop if something happens in front of you, but it also gives you more time to see things that are coming, more visibility, so that you can better react for any potential hazard that's happening. And then, of course, clearing all the snow and ice from all of your windows. Don't just drive through a porthole. We want to make sure that you can see all around you, and also remember your headlights and your taillights, clearing those off as well.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything road-wise they need to avoid specifically? Is there any? Because like in the summer, it's like, well, if the water's too high, you don't drive.
Sure, of course. Well, of course, you would never want to drive into what looks like deep snow. If you find yourself in a rural area where there's a lot of snow maybe, and you can't tell, then don't drive into it. You don't want to get stuck because, of course, if you're stuck, it may take a long time for somebody to get there to you. But also, depending on your driving skill, different driving experience, different vehicles, four-wheel drive vehicles obviously can go through deeper snow. But don't get so reliant on that four-wheel drive that you think that, I can drive as fast as I want, because four-wheel drive doesn't help you stop. And most crashes come when somebody's trying to stop. And so, again, if your driving skill isn't to par where you can drive on the interstate on the snow, then maybe plan on taking the side streets or a different way in. Because once you get on that interstate, it's a little less forgiving, there's more traffic, and the traffic's moving a little faster.
And let's say someone does slide off the road. Who's the best person to call?
Well, first and foremost, call 911. It's acceptable to call 911 to get some help. We can either send a police officer or send a tow truck or whatever you need. We have those resources. Also, stay in your vehicle. One of the most logical things would seem is step outside, see if you can push yourself out, get yourself unstuck, or just wait outside your vehicle. But that's just not safe. If you slid off in that area, there's a good chance another vehicle's coming along to slide as well. So stay in your car with your seatbelt on and wait for that help to arrive. Also, if you see somebody stuck in the ditch, I know that people are helpful and they want to stop and help, but it may not be the safest thing, especially on the interstate, to stop on the side of the road on a slick, hazardous highway trying to push somebody out of a ditch. Let the professionals get there, the roadside service, the tow trucks, whatever you need to help with that.
I'm from up north where we're always told to make sure we are always prepared.
Yeah.
What should people have in their vehicles?
Oh, yeah, great question. So there's a lot of things that you can do now that's going to prepare you for the entire winter, and that is obviously blankets and all the things that our grandmas and moms told us to put in our cars when we were younger. Those things really have a lot of purpose, but extra blankets, coats, mittens, hats, things like that. Some water, and some people say, well, the water's going to freeze. It doesn't make sense. Well, you know what? If it's all you have and you can melt a little bit at a time if you're stranded. There was an instance a couple years ago where we had an ice storm, and a lot of people were stranded for 9 or 10 hours in their car. And so be prepared for that. Also, check now to make sure that your spare tire has air. Make sure that you have the tools in your car to change that spare tire, because so many times people get stranded with a flat tire, and we put the spare tire on and then the spare's flat, or they don't have their jack or their lug wrench. So make sure you have all that stuff. Jumper cables are good things to keep in your car. Those hot hand things that you can shake up and make your hands warm, because if you're stranded for 8 or 9 hours, which is a possibility, your car could run out of gas. And so you got to have something to keep yourself warm. Obviously, cell phone chargers and things like that are a good idea as well.
I know you're active on social media.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what you post on Twitter, for example?
I try to use the platform to get a message out. And what I found works, and I'm not the inventor of this, I follow public safety police officers and firefighters from across the country, is if you can add a little humor, if you can relate to the person who's reading it, they're more likely to get your message. And so, I come up with the hashtag that I use every winter is don't drive like a knucklehead. Kind of the nicest way that I can put don't drive like a knucklehead, There are some other words that could be substituted, but it kind of gets the point across. And we say the same things every year. Just getting creative with how we say those things, kind of get those ideas to stick in people's heads so that they can remember them, and that's what's important. Years ago, I had some success with a turn signal video. So people remember to use their turn signal when they think about me. And so, what I would say, then it's a successful post.
Before someone heads out, where should they be checking the weather and the road conditions?
Indiana Department of Transportation has a really great TrafficWise website. It has live maps that tell you the traffic, the road conditions anywhere in the state of Indiana. And so real valuable resource online. What we don't want people to do is call into the police department. We don't want them calling our dispatch center asking road conditions or asking construction. Our dispatchers are tied up with emergencies, and there's other resources out there for them to find that information.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to add about winter driving safety, driving in general?
As we're coming into these winter months, just keep in mind, every single time you leave your house, there's the potential for coming across hazardous roads. You may be a great driver with a very capable vehicle, but also have a little courtesy for those other drivers, because that car that you're tailgating trying to push out of your way could be a 16 or 17-year-old driver driving for the first time on snow. It could be an elderly person. It could be somebody who's dealing with other things. So be patient with everybody. Be kind. Allow people to merge. Use your turn signal. Just the list could go on. Just be a courteous and kind driver.
If you haven't checked out Sergeant Perrine's Twitter, you can find him at ISP Indianapolis. That's Indiana State Police, Indianapolis. ISP Indianapolis. You can see the turn signal video he mentioned and keep up to date with more travel safety tips and see what the state police are doing in our area. Thank you for joining me. I hope you can listen next week when I have a chance to talk with the Indiana Department of Transportation, so INDOT, about some upcoming projects and more. If you have questions or comments, please email me at emetheny, that's EMETHENY, at radio-1.com. Until then, have a great week.
Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.